Hey y'all, I had another flare up, and much like the last time, it does not look like much along my hairline. But once I start scratching, you all will kind of see that it very much so was a lot hidden behind my hairline. And of course, I'm trying to be gentler because I have seen hair loss along my hairline. And although it's growing back, I'm not trying to get the hair back and then lose it again. So I am trying to be careful because I need my edges. Because when I want to wear braids in the summertime, if I don't have edges, it's not going to look right. And my forehead is already big. Okay? But as y'all can see, it's a lot behind the surface of my hairline that it doesn't look like much. But once I start to kind of scrape them and shovel them up, they start to come to the surface. And I'm not going to be scratching fast and rough in this video, although that's what some of you have requested. I have to be careful because in addition to me being mindful of my hairline, when I scratch too hard and too rough, my scalp ends up being inflamed, almost like I've peeled off a layer of skin or like I have an open wound on my scalp. And using the medicated shampoo, it burns after I scratch it. And after I do a scratch, I try to wash my hair immediately after. And I've also tried doing oil treatments overnight after scratching. My scalp still feels inflamed if I scratch too hard. So, as y'all can see, I'm still able to get the flakes up without, being so free and, scratching and fast and furious. Okay? So, also, I'm not tender headed. I couldn't be tender headed because I've always had about this much hair and thick, coarse hair. I used to get cornrows back in the day. I could not be tender headed. It's just that my scalp has seen a lot of turmoil and pain. And I'm just trying to be mindful of that. This time I've had some really large flakes as well. Thick flakes, like almost like scabs or cradle cap. And it's very hard to get them up because they're not like the flakes that just pop up. You can do a little fast flick of the wrist and they pop up. No, these flakes want to play hide and go seek. So I'm having to shovel and scoop them up. And also I've been trying to do less parting and combing on camera because someone asked me to do less combing and more scratching, which I've been trying to be mindful of that as well. But of course, everybody's request is not going to be honored. I'm just trying to get as close to what everybody is asking as possible. For the people who ask for me to speed up the scratching and scratch harder and, be a little bit more aggressive with the scratching, I cannot do that. However, the other requests that have been asked of me, I've been trying to incorporate those in the videos once y'all leave comments. So please continue to comment. Please continue to like the videos. I love you all's constructive criticism and feedback. It doesn't bother me when you all add your 2 cents to whatever it is that I'm doing. However, if it's something that I've already addressed in a previous video, even if you leave a comment about it, I'm still going to respond to the comment because you might not have seen the previous video. This might be your first watch. So that's why some videos I will kind of repeat the same comments or repeat the same responses over and over. But that's just because I really am trying to honor everybody's requests while also being mindful, and then also explaining why I can't do certain things in certain videos, because it may be, stuff that you are used to after watching other creators do scratch videos. I was asked to also do like whisper sounds. I have never been the best whisperer on any day of the week at any point in time in my life. So I don't know if I'll ever be able to honor that request, but at some point I may try it. So also, I know maybe the scratching sounds aren't enough for some people either. I want you all to please let me know in the video if y'all want me to do voiceovers, or if y'all would just rather hear just the scratching sounds, because I'm still not sure. I've looked at other videos, but I also kind of want to carve my own path and kind of curate my ASMR videos to what's comfortable for me, as well as what makes the most sense and stuff that I'm actually able to achieve. I'm not going to be able to do what everybody does. But here's where the flakes started to get a little smaller, or where they had broken up at. I know some people might think that my scalp is dry. You can tell by how limp my silk press is now that my hair has started to get oily. And that's why I have the flare-ups. My scalp overproduces oil. And then that oil kind of sits, and then I have the flare-ups. So me oiling my scalp is not going to help. That's why I only oil my scalp as a treatment right before I wash it, because I don't want the oil left over in my hair, because I already have enough of it. So much like the T-zone of my face, my scalp overproduces oil. I have combination skin, but my scalp the whole thing overproduces oil. It's the strangest thing, because at first glance it does look dry. It does look like I need an oil treatment, but I assure you that's not it. Hairdressers have told me the same thing, because I, much like some of you, assumed that I needed to oil my scalp, and the problem started to get worse. And they kind of told me, hey, you're actually making the problem worse by adding oil to an already oily environment. So that's why I get the flare-ups, and that's why my scalp kind of responds the way it does, because it's oversaturated with oil. And my hair kind of sits in it. So that's why my silk press just looks so limp and lifeless. When I first did the silk press, it was very much so not giving oily but shiny, and it was giving silk press, not limp, not weighed down. Like, my silk press now has no movement because it's weighed down. So another request that I'm also trying to honor is that I've been asked to comb the flakes out so they can see where I've scratched. But then I was told that I was doing too much combing in the video. So I'm trying to balance it out by combing out the flakes and then parting and combing off camera. So y'all let me know if that works for y'all. The people who said I was doing too much combing, and the people who wanted to see the flakes. Y'all let me know in the comments. And then it's like kind of once I scoop up everything from the hairline, it's like nothing else left there for me to do. It's almost like, okay, the very beginning of your hairline is clear, but right behind it, like a strand or two behind it, is where I have all of the flakes. I also had a lot of new growth this time too, which was kind of getting in the way. Also, the length of my hair sometimes gets in the way of the flakes being able to be extracted as easily. Because I've seen, other videos where the flakes just pop up and they're able to like shake them out of their hair. Mine gets stuck, and then I have to kind of comb them all the way down, as well as my hair just overall just being in my face, being in the way, me not necessarily able to get to a certain part the way I would want to, just because of the length of my hair. I have to go in and repart that entire section because I can't just move my hair around. I gotta part it, and then I gotta kind of define the part by combing it to make sure the rest of my hair that I'm not trying to fool with at that moment isn't in the way. So gosh, me watching the video over, doing the voiceover, it's crazy how many flakes I had, like from one small section in a larger section to the next. It's crazy that one little section could have that many flakes in it. And this was actually the worst I've had it in a while since I took my braids out that last time, which I had some feedback on that video as well, that I wasn't really scratching. My hair was so thick I couldn't comb it. So I had to part off camera at that time too, because my hair was so thick. I had to tear my hair into the sections just to try to get some of the dandruff up before I washed it. And the detangling process when you take braids out and you have thick hair, whew, let's just say I was fighting a losing battle on that day. So, and then I am left-handed, so sometimes I will be holding the comb awkwardly and in a way that might not necessarily be traditional. It's just because it's not much that I do with my right hand. I'm very left hand dominant. So that's why you see if I go in scratching with my right hand, it does not look natural. And that's the reason. Also, let me know if you all want me to zoom in more. If that's something that you all want me to do. Sometimes I feel like I'm too close into the camera and that it might be too much. So y'all let me know if I'm too far away this time. And again, I do appreciate everyone's feedback because I am doing the scratching videos in more long form now, which obviously require more effort, more time, and more attention to detail too. So I want to make sure that I'm putting out a quality ASMR, as well as doing what I came here to do, which is get these flakes. So I need to get this watch. It's getting weird, but I need to get this watch, okay? I need to get these flakes. I know it's getting weird. but I gotta get these flakes. So this section too also had like the smaller flakes that I haven't really seen as much of in my hair. So it was almost like, okay, did they break up? Or is that just what the consistency of these single flakes? When I tell you, I had every type of flake you could think of this time. It was like, okay, they popping up barely. They trying to pop out and show. Let me censor myself. But then you would have these smaller ones. And then it was almost like scabs. Like a thick layer of skin. And then sometimes it was just like regular standard dandruff that you'll see. So it was hard to get these sections on the side and get them in frame and make sure I was close enough to the camera. So I had a lot of dandruff here, and I typically don't scratch this way on the side, but I saw I was covering more ground and getting more territory, covering more territory this way. So that's why I kind of went in from that angle. And then my sideburns also, they'll look clean or semi-clean or look like it ain't much. And then when I started scratching, Let It Snow sound like it started playing. So I also had someone ask me to scratch along the crown of my head, which is what I tried to do in this video. If I didn't do it in the way that you wanted me to, let me know, and then I will try to adjust the next time. Because no matter what I do, I'm just gonna be managing this. More than likely, I'm not gonna be able to find a long-term cure for this without probably damaging my hair. Because if the products used strip my hair of the essential oils and then my scalp starts being dry, then what? I'm almost afraid to try something new. Because in the past, I've tried new products, new shampoos, new conditioners, new creams, and they work for like a month. And then it's almost like my hair gets used to them and they just stop working. And I've spent money on these products and time and effort, and just the frustration of continuing to have to deal with this, with my hair being thick and long and everything else. However, I'm not cutting my hair. I did it once out of necessity because my hair was damaged due to hair color, and the hair color was over processed and it was bleach blonde. I had to do an undercut in the back. My hair grew back healthy. I'm not cutting my hair again unless a situation like that comes up again, where it's just absolutely damaged beyond repair and I have to cut it. Outside of that, nah, not because of this. I'm just gonna continue to manage it. And other members of my family also have this issue as well, and have visited the dermatologist and have been prescribed certain things, and those things only work up until a certain point, and then the issue is back. So again, I'm almost afraid to get my hopes up trying something new, hoping for the best. So I've just been managing it and almost just trying to make the best of it by doing the ASMR videos, because To be completely honest, I used to be embarrassed of it. It's like you wash your hair and then a few days later you have this flare up. It wasn't until I realized how common it was and that it's not just a me thing or it's not something that I'm causing, because I do wash my hair regularly. I do take care of my hair. I'm not neglectful of it. So I just stopped being embarrassed and kind of wanted to be more transparent about it, because the more people know about it, the less likely they are to be embarrassed if they're going through it as well. So here gonna be holding the comb awkwardly again. But it is a condition that I've seen a lot of videos addressing. I've seen a lot of scratch videos. I've seen a lot of people being transparent about it, and that made me want to be more transparent as well. And then I have always liked ASMR videos. However, I never thought of doing ASMR videos with this. And it wasn't until I did a short one on TikTok and everyone was like, "Oh, we want more videos, longer videos." I'm like, "What?" Even though I had looked at ASMR videos in the past, it's almost like, okay, but now I'm gonna do ASMR videos and not just watch them. So it was kind of, I guess, difficult for me to bridge that gap. My first ASMR videos was like me shampooing my hair. So it wasn't necessarily me showing you how much of an issue the flare up had really caused. But I'm gonna continue to manage it. I do want to visit a dermatologist. I have not found one in the area that actually specializes in scalp. I want to go to someone that specializes in scalp conditions, because you know, I have combination skin as far as my face and everything else goes. But what's going on with my scalp? You know, I want someone that's really going to be able to give me a product that's going to work. But from what I've seen, they try, and you know, they might give you steroids, or they might give you a certain cream or a certain shampoo, might be medicated. They might tell you to use the same thing that's at the Walgreens or the CVS. And then for some reason, after a while, my hair just gets used to it. The same thing with certain hair products. Edge control. My hair don't care how strong y'all say edge control is. Once my hair get used to it, it's gonna do what it want to do. So it can be stressful and kind of, you know, not scary, but it's almost like, okay, I just washed my hair. How long is it gonna last before I have a flare up? So I'll say unpredictable. And it's almost like you're scared of certain styles and everything else, but you know, it is what it is. Now that I'm being more transparent about it, I feel more at peace about it. Just because it's not just me, and I'm managing it as best I can without, you know, taking drastic measures. And after all of that work, over 24 minutes of scratching, my hairline looks like it never had a flake of dandruff in sight. But I guess that's the point. Because if I didn't get the dandruff up before I washed it, that's a whole nother mess to talk about for a whole nother day. So scratching it first makes wash day easier. So y'all, look at what I unearthed in this 24 minutes of scratching. Y'all see how thick and large these flakes were? Man. In addition to the smaller flakes kind of being a pile on, this is my shirt. These are my pants. Like, just flakes everywhere. Just snowing. Just, well, thank y'all for watching. And y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. And let me know what y'all thought of the voiceover. Bye, y'all.